Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we'll be removing the hub on this 1999 Pontiac Grand AM. This is part one of two. Again, it's the removal of the hub. Removing the hub on this car is basically the same as just about any GM car from about 1993 to present. Maybe tools will vary a little bit, but the basic procedure is the same. So that's any GM, any Buick, Chevy, Pontiac, or Olds, LeSabre, Bonneville, Impala, all those vehicles. Okay, here are the tools you'll need. Keep in mind, sizes may differ by application, and you may need a puller, axle puller, or a gear puller if your hub is stuck together.
I'm going to start by lifting up the car and securing it. Obviously, if you're using jack and jack stands, make sure you obey all the security or safety instructions. And now I'm going to take off the wheel. I got the wheel off. I'm actually just going to go the other side, and I'm going to grab the tire and turn the wheels all the way this way. That gives me better access to the back of the brake caliper, which is the next thing I'm going to take off. Remove the brake caliper, and it's 13mm bolts, one here and then one here. I've got the luxury of an impact wrench. So now we've unbolted the caliper, and I'm just going to grab hold of it here and pull it off. I'm actually just going to use I got a bread tie on the spring here, and that's probably not going to do it. Basically just you might be able to just get this to go up here and stick it on there, just up out of the way. Just secure it with a piece of string or something, just so it doesn't fall down in your way. I found a nice piece of wire here. I'm just going to wrap it around the caliper up here, just so if it does fall, something holds onto it and it doesn't fall on me. Now we're going to remove the brake rotor. Okay, and now we can easily get to one bolt, and I'll show you that. And with the right tools, we can get to the second bolt. There's 3 bolts now that hold in the hub, and you can see I have my wrench on the top one. Now I like to do this one first because it's the hardest one to get to. And you can see here I got a 3/8 wrench with an extension, and I can get in there nicely. And maybe it's not coming, so I'll show you a little trick for some extra torque. Okay, take a nice big wrench, put it on your smaller wrench. Okay. The key is to be holding the wrench this way against the nut so it doesn't come off and strip the head of the nut. Okay, let's see if I can get this here. Yep, and there it comes. Okay, now this is also where having coated the backs will come in handy. Okay. Got that one out. Now these two I can easily get to with anything 1/2 inch or impact. The other one we'll actually turn the whole steering column around, or we'll grab hold of the other wheel and turn it this way, and I'll make it easy to get to the third one. So let's see if I can get this one. And it's really important when you do this, use this little tip, just pull evenly. Don't just try and jerk it, because you could knock something off or whatever, and just pull harder and harder and harder, and eventually it'll come. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll go around to the car to the other side. So I can grab hold of the wheel, turn it. There's a couple things here. This is if your car has ABS, you're gonna disconnect this ABS sensor. Okay, and then this clip, I can just kind of reach in behind and pull it off, and that goes obviously with the hub. Okay, and then here is, I'm not sure if you can see it, this guy's out of the way. Okay, and then here's my third bolt. Okay, put my wrench on. Put my, excuse me. And again, you just kind of slowly ease the torque onto there. And eventually the bolt starts. Now, I have in the past on these cars, you end up just can't get the bolt out. The head breaks off or strips. What you can do, hopefully you can see this well enough, okay, is you can rent the Sawzall, and it's actually not that bad. It takes about a minute with a good blade, about a minute, and you can cut through the hub and then the bolt, and then it comes off, and then you just punch the bolt out the other side, and then you'll have to go down to your hardware store and get a new bolt that's the right length and size. So, but fortunately on this car, we didn't have to resort to that. So now I'll remove those bolts and go to the next step. Now, I haven't taken those bolts all the way out yet. I'm going to remove this large center bolt here first. Okay, and this is, you're really going to need an impact wrench and a large socket. I got a 34mm socket on there. And I think that's not even... Now I got the bolts off the back and that nut off, and actually I'm lucky here because this hub just kind of pulled off of the axle shaft. But let me put it back on here for a second. Okay, and hopefully if your car's good, everything will pull apart. But if it doesn't just pull apart, you'll want either an axle puller or a gear puller that basically either can bolt to the lug nuts, and then a shaft goes in and pushes right against the axle, or it clamps onto the flange here, and same thing, a bolt goes in and pushes. It's either a gear puller or an axle puller. You don't want to use a hammer. You do not want to bang this with a hammer because you'll end up ruining your CV joints. Okay, so you kind of want to press that out. So now I can remove my old hub. Okay. And basically there's the connector. I'm kind of pushing the axle around. I mean, I can push this axle around without worrying about it too much. Okay, but you don't want to bang on it. Okay. Okay, so obviously this is my old hub. Here's my new hub. Nice and shiny. See, everything's the same. It's got the same connector on it. Everything else on the back side is all the same. Just make sure the original bolts here thread right in. So, okay.
Remember to check out our other videos for the installation of this hub. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393, the company that's here for you on the internet and in person. Thank you.